Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Dreher, and I will be reviewing the Intangibles Educator activity for our Management Capstone course, as well as our IP7. I am reviewing Chapter 6 of the Intangibles, the expected traits of a high-performance leader in healthcare leadership. Chapter 6 is about generosity in leadership, exploring the impacts, practices, and genres of leadership. Introduction to Generosity in Leadership. What the book says is, what is generosity in leadership? Generosity goes beyond empathy, it's compassion and an action. Generous leaders invest time, energy, resources, and attention to help others grow. More than just feeling concern for others, it's about actively supporting and empowering others. The book's core of generosity and leadership, key characteristics: empathy and compassion and action, investing in others' growth and success, celebrating achievements and forgiving mistakes, building shared successes within a team. The book describes generous leadership as an action-oriented, supportive, and focused on collaborative successes. The book gave us a case study to review, and it was the founder of Chobani Greek yogurt. So he moved to the United States as an immigrant, and then opened a yogurt factory, and in return paid his employees well above the minimum wage, offered ownerships within the company, and then during a time of crisis where there was an issue with immigrants as well as war refugees, he provided public services to those individuals. An example of this in the book was community programs like Little League Baseball and improving the fields in the community around the factory. So it was just a great example of generosity in action from a CEO in the United States. So let's talk about the benefits of generosity in leadership. Generosity impacts the organizational success, improves employee engagement, morale, enhances collaboration and trust, and boosts productivity and performance, fosters healthy organizational cultures, and positive outcomes. Positive outcomes of generous leadership, as described in the book, are better employee satisfaction, increased engagement, and a more supportive work environment. Balancing generosity with strengths. Generosity and authority. Generosity versus perceived weaknesses. The book really didn't go into much about how to balance kindness and decisiveness, but it can be kind of preserved or perceived as a weak individual, and can also how to balance it. Kind of talked about avoiding exploitations and burnout. It kind of went into the weaknesses of the excessive generosity can sometimes be seen as a lack of authority, and so the book kind of ways to handle it, I suppose, I guess you would say, where setting boundaries and then understanding when you needed to say no as a leader. So, it's a big takeaway from what the book was saying is just the weaknesses of um, sometimes seen as an undermining authority or undermining leadership. Um, so, there was a case study, and it focused on employees' morale and development and treated all employees with respect from the top down, all the way to the janitor, facilities level. And then, this leader was also seen as someone that was down to earth and had a very approachable lifestyle. Although some things weren't always right in his eyes, he was approachable individual, and he fostered relationships. That was his big key takeaway: is being open to fostering those relationships and actually getting to know individuals within your organization. So the book went over some research and research on the impacts of generosity. Generous leadership drives higher performance and organizational success. Um, let's see. So book says that generosity fosters trust, loyalty, and a positive environment, which is all supported by the research. Potential pitfalls of generosity, risk and challenges can be perceived as a lack of dominance in competitive environment, uh, risk for exploration and burnout, and then a need for balance between generosity and its strengths, knowing when to say no. Too much generosity without proper boundaries could undermine your leadership's authority and effectiveness. So, key takeaways from Chapter 6, Generosity and Leadership, was trust, engagement, and success are crucial for fostering generosity. Leaders should set um, a good balance between the strengths and decisiveness, as well as generosity leads to improved organizational performances, but must be practiced thoughtfully. So that goes back to understanding when to say, hey, I'm the boss, and when to say no, and how to build those boundaries that can often be seen as weaknesses within generosity leadership. Stimulating discussions. So here's some questions that possibly be discussed is how can leaders maintain a balance between generosity and authority, ensuring that they're seen as both compassionate and decisive? In what ways can generosity and leadership be cultivated without leading to burnout and exploration? And then can excessive generosity and leadership be detrimental to an organization, especially in a highly competitive, fast-paced industry? Thank you for your time.